Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Got a fun little treat to show off for you today. This is the Arduboy FX. Now, what is the Arduboy? It is a game system that you can fit in your pocket and maybe even your wallet. It's about the size of a credit card, maybe a little bit bigger. And it uses what's called the Arduino platform, which is open source, and it's really easy to program your own games as well. So if you ever thought about making a video game but weren't really sure where to start, this is a good place to start. It's pretty much on par with, I would say, the original Game Boy as far as the graphics and things like that. Sometimes even better than that though. So I've been playing around with this for a few weeks now, and it's a neat little thing. It's not going to replace anything that you already have, and the community and the ability to create games and play other people's games that are, you know, just normal people like you and me, not any kind of crazy programmer. That's part of the attraction too, beyond the unit itself. So let's check out what you get in the box, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how it plays and things like that.
Okay, we'll take a look at the packaging real quick here. 8-bit game system, open source, 200 games. That's if you get the FX version that I have for you here. Age 12 to infinity, yeah. Excellent forums, easy to learn, open source. Yeah, they do talk a lot about, and here we go again, learn to code, lessons and tutorials, no experience required. They really want to get it across that it's easy to program for this thing. So you can go to arduboy.com and you know, easily learn how to do this kind of thing. It might not be the fanciest game in the world, even compared to some of the games on the system, but you can make a game on here probably about as easily as you're going to be able to anywhere else. So, and you know, they're just showing a lot of the featured games on here, which, I mean, if you're being fair, these do look pretty cool. If these were Game Boy games, you'd be like, oh, these look really interesting. So, as I've shown you some of the games, I think a lot of them do end up being pretty impressive. So, this is a nice little package. Open up the slipcase. Here's where the Arduboy was. Here's the USB cable. And just some simple instructions here. So, overall, I think it's a very nice package between the unit and the stuff that it comes with. Doesn't come with much, but the possibilities, you know, again, if you're into creating games, are pretty vast, I think. Okay, so here's the Arduboy FX. It was kind of hard to get into the viewfinder at first, it's so small, but we got it here. So you've got the D-pad, a couple buttons. It's really all you need. They're not the greatest buttons, but they serve their purpose. Again, this is a slimmed down experience here, of course. So I really like the transparent case that shows all the guts, just because this is kind of a neat little bit of engineering here, fitting all this in here. And you have the metal case, nice screws. It's a little thicker than I'd like, but I'd like to fit it in my wallet, which I'll talk a little bit about at the end. But that's okay. It's a neat little thing. That was my main selling point, was I wanted to slip it into my wallet. And you can do that, but if you're like me and you have a bunch of junk in your wallet, that's going to be kind of difficult. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it in there. But at any rate, let's turn her on here. You use this little switch here, which is kind of hard to get out. You have to kind of use your fingernail. And there's the screen. Pretty small, but it does serve a purpose. If you have really bad eyes, this might be a bit of a problem for you. It is pretty small. But yeah, I mean, pretty simple stuff. You've got up for select. Actually, oh, left and right will select. You have some tools here, which I haven't really used. You're just going to go through the categories left and right. So we're at tools right now. We'll hit down. And this is like a little old school original Windows screen, which I don't really know what to do with. And there's just some coding stuff, and there's some music stuff on here as well, I thought. Let's go, oh, here's apps. I haven't played with the apps and stuff too much, but just some pretty simple things. Here's the music stuff. So I'm assuming you could do some... Let's see what this does. It has like a metronome sort of thing, maybe. You can change. You can see the LED on the left there. It's red, green, and blue. I believe you just have to turn it off and turn it back on with the switch. I haven't been able to figure out a way to reset it. I think it might have told me when I first powered it on. When you first power it on right out of the box, it will basically tell you that there's these buttons and they do this and you can go through the menus. And I thought it might have told me how to restart it, but I can't remember and I can't find it on the internet. So maybe I just need to look harder. But here are the genres. You've got action, adventure, arcade, runner. So these are endless runners. Platform, strategy, puzzle, skill, tabletop, racing, RPG, shooter, and sports. And honestly, out of all these genres, I haven't played all 200 or so games that are on here, but out of all of these, I think the runners are actually really fun. I don't even really play endless runners, but for some reason on this little thing, just playing a few minutes, I actually really liked the runners. And arcade I liked as well. There's some, like Fire Panic is just an old school arcade experience. Really, really simple. I'll show you real quick here. A lot of these little music, which is nice. As you can see, the screen is great. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong button. Here we go. So your fire truck comes. And you basically just have to move this trampoline thing and save the people. Bounce them on to the truck there. Oh, I already missed one. It's kind of hard to play through the viewfinder here. Yeah, I'm not noticing the other people falling as I'm balancing the first one. There we go. Whoops, I still... You get the point. Let's see what else we got here. Try one more arcade game. Kong is basically like Donkey Kong. Kong 2, I believe, is just like Donkey Kong Jr. So there's other games here. I played this one. This one's not bad. Again, I'm really surprised how good the screen is. This one you have to catch the oil drops and dump them out the window. And you can dump them. You don't want to dump them on someone's head like I just did. You want to dump them to your partner. And on the right there, it will show you where your partner is on the screen so that you can dump it down to him. Now I have to get back in there. Whoops. So, these are the arcade games. I mean, they're pretty straightforward. Actually, there are some impressive ones, though, too. I think I might have just picked action. Damn it. Let's try again here. Oh, that was adventure. But these are very simple arcade experiences. I mean, they're just little... I mean, if you can go back to, like, I'm talking, like, the early 80s, that's the kind of thing you're dealing with here. Just something to keep your mind off something else for a few minutes. There are some technically impressive games on here, like I noticed this Catacombs of the Damned is pretty impressive for this little thing. We'll fire it up here. I'll just show you real quick. I mean, a first-person game is pretty impressive on here, I think. I don't have the sound on. There is sound in this game. But look at this. I mean, this is just open source software. Nothing special. Not that open source software can never be special, just simple stuff is the point. And, I mean, this is a pretty impressive little game. It's like a little Doom right in your pocket. So, that kind of thing is impressive. And then the runners I like too. I won't show you those just because, I mean, they're endless runners. You get the point. Castle Boy is probably one of the better games on here, I think, maybe. This is basically Castlevania, but on the Arduboy. Unfortunately, there's no music, which I would have loved, but as you can see, I mean, this is kind of a dead ringer for Castlevania. So, play a little bit of Castlevania on your lunch break or something. I mean, you're not going to be able to fit a whole Game Boy in your pocket. Well, at least as an adult, you'd probably look a little weird at the office. So, this is something that you can just take with you and play for a couple of minutes. So, that'll give you a little bit of an idea about the stuff that it plays. Again, the games are pretty simple, but I found a bunch that I liked, quite frankly. I mean, nothing special, but there's a lot of them on here that I thought, wow, I'm probably going to go back to that and play that a little more. So, there's 200 plus games on here. If you can throw this thing somewhere and just have it for a rainy day when you're stuck and, you know, you don't really have anything else to do in particular, or you need to kill a few minutes, this is a great way to do it.
So as you can see, I think this is a neat little product. It's not going to emulate anything. It's not going to replace your smartphone for gaming if you enjoy that sort of thing. It's a little bit of a novelty, which is a word I don't really like to use just because novelties typically mean a thing that you buy that has no great purpose. At least in my opinion, that's what it means. But I think part of the attraction, like I said at the beginning, is that you can program your own games, and even if you don't want to do that, there's just regular people with cool little ideas for video games that are making games all the time that you can load into this no problem. I paid $55 for this with 200 games already loaded onto it, which I thought was pretty fair. And you can actually buy a unit with no games on it and just download them yourself. And that's, I believe, $49. So it only makes sense to pay an extra few dollars to have someone just load everything on there for you, and then you're done. And you can always jump on your computer if you want to download something else that you have noticed that is new or just catches your eye that's not already loaded onto here. So, all in all, how many people would actually use one of these? Well, I think you have to be really into video games because, as always, instead of this, you can just play games on your phone. A lot of people are totally fine with that. And you have to have some nostalgia for old retro games probably too, since that's the sort of thing you'll find on here. And I think the thing about it being a little bit thicker than a credit card is kind of it's hard to complain about something like that. I mean, this is 5 millimeters thick. I just couldn't fit it in my wallet, which is just kind of disappointing, because I thought it would be really cool to have a little game system with me all the time that I could fit in my wallet. I thought that would be really neat. Apparently the original one, the first one that was ever invented, was a little over 1 millimeter wide. So that one actually fit into a credit card, or into a wallet. So I'm not sure if they just beefed this up slightly and that's why it's a little thicker, or if they just wanted the nice metal case on the back, which you can get an engraving on here too if you want. But it's a little bit thicker. When I use this mostly is when I'm at the office, since I'm not at the office all the time anymore. So it comes in handy for that. Again, I could play a mobile game or something if I'm just on my lunch break and need to kill a few minutes, but again, it's all kind of about the whole Arduboy ecosystem. You know, you have this little tiny thing, which is kind of amazing that it all fits in here, and you have this community of people that are making games that you can download. You can participate in that community if you like and create your own game. So it's kind of this whole robust ecosystem that you can either take partly advantage of or entirely if you want to create stuff or chat about things or work on projects with people and things like that. So all in all, for $55, I thought it was a cool little thing. Yes, it is sort of a novelty, but check it out on their website. And yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. It's pretty simple, right? But I like it. It's not something I'll use as often as I thought, but I will keep it around in places where, maybe in my car, if I get stuck somewhere waiting for someone somewhere, I'll have it in my car, or I'll have it in my drawer at work or something like that. So it's good for stuff like that and just little bite-sized bits of gameplay. So what do you think about it? Is it just kind of a silly little thing? Do you appreciate the artistry in this tiny package and the fact that it is so easy to make games? Let me know in the comments, and check out their website and see if this is something you'd be interested in. Let me know. See you next time.